Hi everyone, welcome to Shine Forward. In the previous section, we explored how to elevate your vibrational frequency to unlock the profound potential within you. When you align and stabilize your energy frequency, not only does your inner experience transform, but the world around you begins to reflect a new reality, one that is clearer, more insightful, and filled with greater opportunities. However, there's a powerful barrier that prevents many people from sustaining this high vibrational state: fear. We live in a world that constantly broadcasts signals of insecurity, from social media and news to the unspoken standards of daily life. These signals tell us you're not enough, you haven't achieved anything yet, you need to try harder. Amidst this chaotic energy, maintaining a steady mind and a high vibration becomes a real challenge. It's in this state that fear begins to creep in, quietly, but deeply rooted. It doesn't shout. It whispers in your mind. You're not good enough. What if you fail? It's better not to try. These whispers may seem harmless, but they are what hold you back every day, keeping you in your comfort zone and making you doubt yourself. From an energetic perspective, fear is a low-frequency vibration. In primitive times, it served a vital role in human survival, helping us avoid predators, floods, or extreme cold. But as the world evolved, so did fear. It's no longer the roar of a physical threat, but a lingering anxiety about the future, failure, judgment, or the feeling of not belonging. But what if fear isn't the enemy? What if it's a mirror reflecting what you're ready to face and overcome? Perhaps fear isn't an obstacle, but a sign that you're standing at the threshold of a significant breakthrough in your personal growth journey. In today's content, we'll explore a new perspective on fear, not to eliminate it through force, but to understand its true nature, recognize the role it plays in your journey, and most importantly, learn how to transform it into a key that unlocks a higher state of living, one filled with freedom, success, and inner strength. We cannot overcome fear by ignoring it or masking it with superficial positivity. The truth is, fear doesn't need to be denied. It needs to be understood. By delving into its origins, the role it has played in your journey, and how you can transform it into strength, you can unlock its deeper meaning. Thousands of years ago, ancient sages described fear as the dragon guarding the treasure, and that treasure is not far away. It is you. It is your untainted, original self, free from the constraints of doubt. It is the light you've forgotten. It is your innate ability to shape your life as you choose. But like in every ancient myth, the treasure only reveals itself when you dare to face the dragon, not with force, but with awareness. That's why this journey doesn't begin with external action, but with deep inner understanding. When you explore fear from an energetic and spiritual perspective, you'll see clearly how it operates in modern life, how it has been used to control you, and how you can break free from its grip. Ancient wisdom doesn't just speak of fear as a concept. It provides tangible tools, breathing techniques, awareness practices, and methods to release trapped energy, helping you reconnect with your inner strength. Here's what you need to know. Becoming successful doesn't mean never feeling fear. It means learning to walk alongside fear, turning its darkness into clarity. Fear doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It dissolves when you face it with understanding. This is a life-changing moment, not through something external, but through a profound internal shift, where you step out of fear and return to your true self. Fear is not a new phenomenon. It didn't originate with you, nor does it belong to you. It is an ancient legacy, passed down through experiences, memories, and belief systems that you've unconsciously absorbed from the world around you. In the beginning, fear was a protector. During primitive times, it helped humans survive, warning them of predators, natural disasters, and environmental dangers. But over time, as external threats diminished, fear turned inward. It no longer alerted us to lions or collapsing caves. Instead, It began warning us of failure, emotional pain, rejection, or simply being different. Fear evolved alongside us, but not always for our benefit. In the modern world, it has become an invisible prison. It doesn't bind your hands, but it makes you hesitate to raise them. It doesn't block your feet, but it causes you to doubt every step. And so, you pause while your soul yearns to move forward. In many ancient spiritual traditions, fear is not seen as an enemy to be destroyed, but as a deep part of the human experience that needs to be understood, healed, and integrated. In Vedanta philosophy, fear stems from Maya, the illusion that we are separate from the universe and our true nature. Shankaracharya, a prominent thinker of Advaita Vedanta, described Maya as a force that obscures the non-dual reality, Brahman, making the world appear fragmented and full of conflict, thus giving rise to the fear of being lost. When you forget that you are an inseparable part of the whole, you begin to feel small, isolated, and vulnerable, and this forgetfulness is the root of fear. Similarly, in Gnostic teachings, fear is seen as a result of ignorance and disconnection from the Father, a symbol of the divine source. Gnosticism describes the soul as trapped in a false world, where truth is veiled by a fog of distorted knowledge. In this state, humans cannot see their true essence and live in anxiety, confusion, and self-doubt. Hermetic philosophy teaches that all opposites, light and darkness, knowledge and ignorance, exist on a continuous spectrum. In this view, darkness is not something to be destroyed, but something to be illuminated through awareness. Only when you look at fear with a conscious mind can you transform it into wisdom. Darkness only disappears in the presence of light, and that light is your awareness. In Shamanism, fear is not an abstract concept, but a living entity, a spirit or energy that can be communicated with, felt, and transformed through rituals, altered states of consciousness, and inner journeys. Shamans don't fight fear, they listen to it. They believe that every emotion, including fear, carries a sacred message and purpose. All these traditions, despite their differences in language and belief systems, converge on a core truth. Fear is not an obstacle to break through, but a doorway to walk through. As long as you run from it, it controls you. But when you stop, observe, and step forward with awareness, it becomes a guide leading you back to your true self, to freedom, and to the strength that has always been within you. The ancient alchemists didn't just work with metals, they refined the soul. For them, fear wasn't something to avoid, but the raw material for forging the gold of consciousness, awakening, wisdom, and true strength. And like any process of transformation, it doesn't begin externally. It starts with your willingness to stay present with your true emotions, not resisting, not rushing to overcome, but touching them with full awareness. This is the fire of initiation that many spiritual traditions speak of, a fire that doesn't destroy you, but sheds your old shell, revealing your most powerful essence. So, how do you begin this transformative process? We won't theorize about fear any longer. We'll work with it within your body, your breath, your thoughts, and your daily actions. Below are 3 practical tools, simple, profound, and applicable to your life right away. Releasing trapped energy in the body, practicing awareness, observing rather than identifying, breathing techniques, regulating the nervous system, and restoring balance. We'll start where fear has resided. The longest your body, fear doesn't just exist in your thoughts. It lives in your body like an undigested memory. When you prepare to say something important, your heart beats faster. When you think of a future risk, your chest tightens. Your stomach might knot up, not from hunger, but because your soul is holding on to something you haven't dared to face. From an energetic and spiritual perspective, emotions are not just temporary reactions, they are conscious energy. And if that energy isn't released properly, It gets trapped in your body as tension, numbness, or an invisible weight, prana life force, chi vital energy, or kundalini awakening energy cannot flow freely if you cling to fear, denying it movement, breath, or release. Thus, the first step to transforming fear isn't intellectual understanding, it's feeling it through your body. When fear arises, pause and turn inward. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? And where is it in my body? You might notice a vague pressure in your stomach, a lump in your throat, or tightness in your shoulders and neck. Instead of judging or trying to push the sensation away, place your hand on that area of your body. Simply be there with it, fully present. If you feel an urge to move, let your body guide you. Gently shake your shoulders, rotate your wrists, stretch your spine, or sway your hips to a soft tune. This isn't about performing a dance. It's a ritual of releasing energy. Each movement is a permission. I'm ready for this emotion to pass through. You can explore other bodily practices like slow yoga, dynamic meditation, or simply a mindful walk in nature. If you enjoy sound, sing out loud or hum a wordless melody, because your voice is a powerful channel for emotional release. It doesn't need to be perfect, just authentic. The key isn't to resolve fear, but to allow it to transform in your presence. And it's your body, not your mind. That becomes the starting point of this healing process. Fear doesn't just reside in your thoughts. It dwells in your body, in every signal of your nervous system. It manifests as a tightness in your chest, a heaviness in your stomach, or an inexplicable urge to flee. So, the first step is to fully feel it without identifying with it. Most people try to suppress fear, overthink it, or channel it into anger. But a true alchemist remains within the emotional fire, saying, I am here. I don't run. I don't fight. I don't deny. I simply observe. In that moment, something miraculous happens. Fear begins to dissolve, not because it's defeated, but because it's embraced with awareness. This awareness starts to shift the energy in your body. But that's just the beginning. The second step is to reinterpret fear, because what we call fear is often a sign of deeper messages from the soul. For example, if you fear failure, the question isn't, how do I avoid failure, but rather, why do I tie my self-worth to success? When you step back and observe this question, you might uncover a deeper belief at play, that only through success are you worthy of love, respect, or acceptance. But that belief isn't the truth. It's a notion, and notions can be changed. This marks a turning point in your inner journey, realizing that you are not your fear. You are the one observing it. When you identify with fear, you give it the power to control your emotions and actions. But when you take a step back and view it from a higher level of awareness, you reclaim your sovereignty. At that point, fear is no longer the center of your experience. It becomes a mere visitor, and you are the one holding the space. In other words, you begin to shift away from the fearful ego and return to the state of the witness, where you can see thoughts, emotions, and fears as clouds passing by, not as the sky itself. When you observe fear without reacting, you reclaim your freedom. You're no longer swept away by it, nor do you need to fight it. You simply stay present with it, like a mother sitting with a distressed child, not to control, but to create a safe space for the emotion to settle. The more you observe, the clearer it becomes. Fear doesn't wish you harm. It's only trying to warn you of the unknown. And the more present you are, the more you become the one guiding the experience, rather than being led by it. After identifying fear in your body and observing it from a higher level of consciousness, the next thing you need is a place to return to a steady anchor within. And that place is always present, quiet yet immensely powerful: your breath. For thousands of years, every wisdom tradition has recognized that breath is not just the rhythm of physical life, but also the thread connecting body, mind, and soul. In yoga, Prana is the life energy. In Taoism, Qi is the universal vital force. In meditation, breath is the bridge that brings you back to the present moment. When you're afraid, your breathing often becomes shallow, uneven, or rapid. This is the body's natural response to perceived threats. But here's the miracle: by simply taking control of your breath, you can immediately send a new message to your nervous system that you are safe, that there's no need to flee, that you can stay present. Find a quiet moment to sit down. Close your eyes and place your hand on your belly or chest. Begin to inhale slowly through your nose, counting to 4. Hold your breath for a few seconds. Then exhale gently through your mouth, lengthening the exhale to double the time of your inhale. As you exhale, imagine releasing a thin wisp of smoke carrying away your worries, tension, and the layers of fear trapped in your body. You can whisper in your mind affirmations like, "I am present," as you inhale, and "I release fear," as you exhale. Repeat this as a ritual gently, without forcing. Simply be with each cycle of breath as if you're comforting yourself. Breathing doesn't just provide temporary relief. It resets your entire energetic state. With consistent practice each day, especially in the early morning or before bed, your body and mind will learn that you can always choose peace, even amidst turmoil. And from that place of peace, you begin to attract entirely new experiences. This practice doesn't just soothe stress in the moment, it gradually reshapes the entire energy field around you. When you emit a frequency of stability and calm, the experiences you attract will shift accordingly. We've embarked on a journey together from recognizing fear, not as an enemy to be defeated, but as a deep part of ourselves waiting to be heard, understood, and liberated along the way. You've been given 3 powerful tools not to fight fear, but to walk alongside it with awareness and courage. When you combine these 3 tools, feeling your body, observing your mind, and mastering your breath, you don't just overcome fear, you transform it. You turn what once confined you into the material for growth, strength, clarity, and a closer connection to your true self than ever before. And that is the deepest essence of success, not controlling everything external, but the ability to move through uncertainty without being consumed by fear. When you achieve this, you're no longer bound by old stories. You begin to rewrite your reality from a higher frequency of awareness, trust, and intentional choice. Fear doesn't disappear, but you change. And because you've changed, the way you move through the world will never be the same again. If you've come this far with me, perhaps you're ready not to conquer fear, but to walk with it, gently and with full awareness. For transformation doesn't come from explosive moments, but from small, repeated choices each day, choosing presence, choosing to listen, choosing not to retreat. If this message resonates with you, subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, and share it with those who need to reconnect with their inner strength. Leave a comment below to share your thoughts, or simply name the fear you're ready to face. It doesn't need to be perfect, just starting is your first step, and you don't have to walk this path alone.